Dear students, today we are going to discuss electricity. A plastic comb rubbed with air is able to attack the tiny pieces of paper. We are going to discuss this phenomenon. Initially, the plastic comb is neutral and hair is also neutral. When the plastic comb is rubbed with air, then some of the electrons from here are transferred to the plastic comb. So, number of electrons increases on plastic comb. Here you can see here this is the symbolic representation, 3 electron and 3 proton. Here we can say 1 2 3 4 5 electron and 3 protons. So comb becomes negatively charged and hair becomes positively charged because after rubbing the hair has only 1 electron and 3 protons. So this is positively charged. So this is the phenomena which is responsible for the attraction of tiny pieces of paper. We can discuss other phenomena. So when glass rod is rubbed with silk, when the two glass rod, one glass rod is rubbed with silk, then we take other glass rod which is again rubbed with silk, then the two glass rods repel each other. Similarly, when a glass rod is rubbed with silk and plastic when rubbed with fur, bring together, then they attract each other. Again, when plastic and plastic rod, which are rubbed with fur, bring together, then they repel each other. What is the conclusion behind it? Here we can say glass, glass, repel, glass, plastic, attract. Here, plastic, plastic, repel. It means some of the charge, some of the capacity is developed on the glass rod when it is rubbed with silk, and the opposite capacity is developed on the plastic rod when it is rubbed with fur. So we can conclude now, like charges repel, unlike charges attract. Now we are going to discuss a fundamental property related to charge. Charge is a fundamental property of matter. Charge carried by proton is positive charge and charge carried by electron is negative charge. When glass rod is rubbed with silk, electrons are transferred to silk from glass rod. Hence, glass rod becomes positively charged and silk becomes negatively charged. Unlike charges attract each other and like charge repel each other. So now we can say there are only two kinds of electric charge, namely the positive charge and the negative charge. Like charge repel each other, unlike charge attract each other. The SI unit of electric charge is Coulomb. Now, so SI unit of electric charge is Coulomb. One electron, charge of one electron, that is minus 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 Coulomb, and charge of one proton is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 Coulomb. So magnitude is same, only nature is different, opposite nature. So now 1 Coulomb is also is equal to 1 ampere second, that we will discuss later on. Now we can calculate the total charge if we know the number of electrons, means n, and the charge on one electron. So if 5 electrons are transferred, so we can say 5 into 5 times the charge on one electron. Similarly, in this way we can calculate the total charge. So Q equal to Ne, where Q is the total charge, N is the number of electron, and N is the number of electron, and E is charge on one electron. Now we are going to discuss electric current. Simple, this is the flow of charge. Simple way you have to understand, this is the flow of charge. The rate of flow of electric charge through any cross section of a conductor is called electric current. Electric current is carried by moving electrons through a conductor. So we can say an electric current I is a measure of rate of flow of electric charge Q. So a given cross section of conductor. What is the meaning of cross section? For example, this is the conductor. We can imagine this is the conductor. So at any cross section, suppose this is the cross section. So the charge passing through this cross section in unit time is known as electric current. So we can say I is equal to Q upon T, and Q can be also written as Ne. So also we can say I is equal to Ne upon T. So here I is equal to Ne upon T. Because in place of Q, you can write Ne. Now, What is the meaning of direction of current? Initially, it is considered the direction of current is from positive to negative, conventionally. So, direction of electric current is taken to be the flow of positive charge. So, we can say this is from positive to negative electric current, conventional electric current. But the flow of electrons is from negative to positive. Okay, the SI unit for electric current is ampere. 1 milliampere 10 to the power minus 3 ampere, 1 microampere that is 10 to the power minus 6 ampere. If 1 coulomb of electric charge flows through a cross section of a conductor for 1 second, then current through it is said to 1 ampere. Again, I repeat, when 1 coulomb charge flows through a cross section area for 1 second, simply we can say when 1 coulomb charge passing through a cross section area in 1 second, so electric current is 1 upon 1, 1. That is 1 ampere. Coulomb per second. Coulomb per second is known as ampere. So here 1 coulomb per second is known as ampere. So 1 ampere. So if there is question, what do you mean by 1 ampere electric current? So simply we can say when 1 coulomb charge passing through a cross section area of conductor in 1 second, then the electric current is 1 ampere. Okay, ammeter is used to measure the electric current in a circuit. Ammeter is always connected in series in a circuit so that the entire current which is to be measured flows through it. So what is the meaning of circuit? If we cut here and put here ammeter, so all the current which passes through the circuit will go through the ammeter. So ammeter should be always connected in series to calculate the electric current passing through the conductor. Now, electric field. What is the meaning of electric field? Simply we can say if we place any charge at any place, for example, if we want to place any charge, let here charge is placed here. So there is a region around this charge where the effect of charge can be experienced by other charge. If it is positive charge, then it has a region around it. If I want to bring here positive charge, so that positive charge is repelled by this charge. If you want to bring negative charge here, put here, so that negative charge will be attracted by this positive charge. If this is positive, so we take this is positive charge, this is a positive charge. We can consider this is the positive charge. So the region around the charge where the effect of charge can be experienced. So we can say simply, this is the region. This is the region around the charge. If you bring any charge in this region, so that charge can be attracted or repelled by this charge. So this region is known as electric field of this charge. This charge is known as source charge. Okay, so electric field, it is the region around the charge body within which it can attract or repel another charge body. So this is electric field. Electric potential and potential difference. What is the meaning of electric potential? So if any charge is here, if any charge, for example, again we take a charge, if a charge is here, if any charge we put here and here, suppose this is the charge, okay, and I want to bring another charge and let this is the positive charge. So simply we can make here, this is the positive charge, so here, if you want to bring any charge near to this charge, for example here, so if you want any charge, for example here, the effect of charge is not there, so this is known as infinity as compared to this charge. So when you bring in a charge, unit charge from infinity to a point in an electric field against this electric force, then that work done is known as potential at that point. For example, here is A. So here is A. So if we want to put any charge from infinity to this point A and we do 10 joule, so we can say the potential at this place is 10 joule per coulomb because 1 coulomb charge is brought there. Okay, so this is the meaning of potential. Similarly, if we take other place, for example here, B, this is, and if you want to bring a unit positive charge from A to B in electric field, then the work done is equal to potential difference between A and B. So these two definitions. Now, I hope you are able to explain this. So let us proceed. So again, I repeat here, electric potential, the work required to bring unit positive charge from infinity to any point in an electric field against the electric force is known as electric potential at that point. So here from infinity, if we want to bring any charge and put here charge, for example, and this is suppose this place is in an electric field created by other charge. So the work done to bring unit positive charge from infinity to this point is known as potential at this point. Similarly, work done to bring unit positive charge from one point to other point is known as potential difference between these 2 points. And you can say in other way, we bring a positive unit charge from infinity to this point, 10 joule. If we bring other unit positive charge from infinity to this point, this is a 15 joule, then the potential difference is 5 joule. So this is the other way to understand this. So SI unit of electric potential, of course, this is the work upon coulomb. It's 1 unit if Q coulomb charge is brought here and 10 joule, Q joule, sorry, if the 20 joule work is done to bring 20 joule work is done to bring 10 coulomb charge, then the potential is 20 joule upon 10 coulomb. Here joule is W and charge is coulomb. So we can say potential is W upon Q or V equal to E upon Q. Here E is the representation of energy used. So W is also energy because when we do work, the energy is transferred. So we can say energy per coulomb charge or work done per coulomb charge is known as potential. So SI unit of potential difference is volt. A potential difference between these two, and also SI unit of potential is joule per coulomb, that is volt. This is the name in honor of Italian physicist Alessandro Volta. So 1 volt, 1 joule per coulomb. Joule is the unit of work and coulomb is the unit of charge. So we can say joule per coulomb. Now, most important law, that is Ohm's law we are going to discuss. So how much electric current can pass through a conductor? That statement is given by Ohm's law. The answer for this statement, Ohm's law states that the current flows through a conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference across the ends of the conductor. So how much electric current is passing through a conductor? Simply we can say, so if I take this one, conductor, so this conductor is here. So how much electric current passes through this conductor depends the potential difference between these two endpoints, and the potential difference is created by a battery. Potential difference is created by a battery or cell, we can say simply. So this is responsible to create the potential difference. So suppose this is the conductor, we want to calculate the electric current in this conductor. So this depends if we increase the potential difference between, for example, this is one point, this is the other point. So this is directly proportional to the potential difference. So simply we can say electric current is directly proportional to the potential difference. So I proportional to V at constant temperature. This is very important because when we increase or decrease the temperature, electric current can increase or decrease. Okay, when we increase the temperature, the electric current decreases, and when we decrease the temperature, electric current increases. This is the vice versa. So a constant temperature, it is very essential to mention. The current passing through a conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference across the ends of the conductor. So here, I proportional to V or V proportional to I. So simply here we can say V is equal to IR if you want to write here. So simply we can simplify like this. If you want to remove sign of proportionality, so simply we can say V is equal to IR. This is more than enough. You don't have to write all these things. So simply we can say I proportional to V or V proportional to I or V is equal to IR, where R is the proportionality constant. This is known as resistance of the conductor. This is known as resistance of the conductor. And if you want to find the SI unit of resistance, so simply we can say R is equal to V upon I, V upon I. So for V denote volt, and for I, this is a volt ampere. So volt ampere is known as ohm. The SI unit is, this is volt ampere. In short, it is known as ohm. So SI unit of resistance is ohm. Okay. So let us proceed. So V equal to IR, where I is constant for the given conductor at given temperature and called resistance. What is resistance? Resistance is the property of conductor which resists the flow of electric current through it. So if electric current wants to pass through a conductor, resistance is the property of the conductor that opposes the flow of electric current. So component that is used to resist the flow of electric current in circuit is known as resistor. So in practical application, resistors are used to increase or decrease the electric current. As we have discussed, SI unit is ohm. Ohm is denoted by this the omega, this is the Greek letter. Here we get the straight line. So this is the current and potential difference. This straight line shows that these two are proportional to each other. And to remember, we can say according to Ohm's law, V is equal to IR, V equal to IR. So I equal to V upon R and R equal to V upon R. So this is the simple relation. And you can remember this. Variable resistance, the component of an electric current which is used to regulate the current without changing the voltage from the source is called variable resistance. So if we are not going to change the voltage, we can just change the resistance, and that resistance is responsible to increase or decrease the current in the conductor. Rheostat, this is a device that is used in a circuit to provide a variable resistance. How much resistance we need, that can be changed according to the need by rheostat. Cause of resistance in the conductor. So as we have discussed, this is the property of conductor. Resistance is the property of conductor to oppose the flow of charge, oppose the electric current. What is the reason behind it? As we know, flow of electron is electric current, nothing. So when electrons flow in a conductor, then electrons collide with the particles of the conductor. So the flow of electrons can be disturbed, can be disturbed by the particles of conductor. So simply we can say flow of electrons in a conductor is electric current. The particles of conductor create hindrance to flow of electron. It means create obstacles to flow of electrons. This hindrance is cause of resistance in the flow of electricity, and it is generated in the form of heat. Now, factors on which resistance depends. Of course, resistance of different material is different. So nature of material, plastic has very high resistance. It does not allow electric current to pass through it at all. And you can say argentum, silver, copper, they are good conductor of electricity. So it has very low resistance. So this depends on the nature of material. And also length of conductor. So if the length of conductor is more, it means if the current has to go for longer distance, then the resistance will be more. So if the length of conductor is more, resistance will be more. Similarly, area of cross section, if area of cross section is more, resistance will be less because more place is available to flow of charge. Now we are going to discuss resistivity. This is one of the most important feature of conductor. Resistivity is the resistance associated with unit length. So that we are good, and this is fixed because here, as we have seen, resistance depends on length of conductor. So if we take 1 meter of silver and 2 meter of silver and 3 meter of silver, so in each case the resistance will be different. So in case of 3 meter of silver, resistance will be more. In case of 1 meter of silver, resistance will be less. And also it depends on the thickness. So it's very difficult to say how much resistance can create a silver. So we need some uniform law that can describe the nature of the material according to resistance. So that is resistivity. Okay, now we are going to derive the formula for resistivity. As we have discussed, resistance is directly proportional to the length of the conductor. So we can say R proportional to L, and resistance is inversely proportional to the cross-section area of conductor. Here we can see this is the cross-section area. This is, if the thickness is more, cross-section is more, resistance will be less. And if the length will be more, resistance will be more. So if area is more, resistance will be less. So we can say R is inversely proportional to A, R proportional to 1 upon A, and R proportional to L. When we join together, so what we get? So R proportional to L, R proportional to 1 upon A. So if you join together, then we get R proportional to L upon A. Or if you want to remove this sign of proportionality, so we have to put one constant. So R is equal to rho L upon A. Here rho is known as resistivity of material, of conductor. So from here we can find the value of rho. Rho is equal to Ra upon L, where when A comes to this side, Ra, and when L comes this side, so Ra upon L rho. So we can say rho is Ra upon L. The SI unit of resistivity we can find here as unit of resistance is ohm, unit of area is meter square, and unit of length is m meter. So m, 1m will cancel because this is m into m, so ohm meter. So the SI unit of resistivity rho is ohm meter. Resistivity of material varies with temperature. We have discussed this. If area, cross section area is more, resistance will be less, and length is more, resistance will be less. Okay, if length is more, resistance will be more. Now, now we want to try to define the resistivity. So we can say resistivity is just a property of the conductor. Every material has resistivity. It is actually the resistance of 1 meter long piece of wire with a cross-sectional area of 1 meter square. So initially when I told you 1 meter, 2 meter, 3 meter of length of silver will have different resistance. But now this is fixed. We have to take only 1 meter silver. If you want to compare the resistivity between silver and copper, so simply we have to take 1 meter with cross-section area of 1 meter square silver and 1 meter with cross-section area of 1 meter square of copper. Then we will try to compare the resistance, that special resistance known as resistivity associated with the unit length. Okay, now so rho equal to Ra upon L, units is ohm meter. Here copper, resistivity of copper is 1.72 and 10 to the power minus 8 ohm meter, and this is less as compared to the most of the materials. Okay, now resistors in a circuit, there can be one or more resistances according to the need. So there are two ways to connect the resistance in the circuit. One way is known as series. So this is the circuit. So this is the resistance 1, resistance 2, resistance 3. This is the end-to-end connections, and this is known as resistance in series connection. Here resistance 1, 2, 3, they are not end-to-end connected. One end of all the resistance are connected at one point, other end are connected at other point. So here there are many ways for current to go ahead, but in this case only one way to current to go ahead. So in this case, if you want to calculate the total resistance, if 2 ohm, 3 ohm, 4 ohm, so 2 plus 3 plus 4, simply we have to calculate. So 2 plus 3, 5 plus 4, 9 ohm total resistance. But in this case, the formula is different. If this is 2, 3, 4, if the total resistance is R, simply we can then 1 reciprocal of R, 1 upon R equal to 1 upon 2, 1 upon 3, and 1 upon 4. This is the formula. And after calculation, we have to get the reciprocal to the right side to get the reciprocal of the left side with total resistance. So we'll discuss later on. In case of series connection, voltage is difference. So simply, what is the meaning of voltage? Voltage is responsible to flow the electric current, as level difference is essential to flow the water. So here level is same for all the resistance. Sorry, here level is difference, we can say, because here for this, and for this, voltage will be different, but the path is same. So what if current here, 20 ampere current is here, so 20 ampere here, so in the circuit 20 ampere current will flow. So current will not be divided, but potential difference, because here potential difference created at this point and this point, not between this point and this point. So from this point to this point, this potential difference will be divided according to the resistance R1, R2, R3. So simply we can say here, we want to derive the formula for series connection. If you want to replace all these three resistances without disturbing the flow of electric current and volt, that single resistance in place of three resistance is known as equivalent resistance. Now we will try to suppose here the three resistors are connected in series across the points A and B. Let here point A and point B, here point A and point B. R1, R2, R3 is the okay, and current are flowing through each of resistors R1, R2, R3 is the same, but the total voltage of the battery V is divided according to the resistance value. Suppose for this one V1, V2, V3. So this is known as voltage drops R1, R2, R3, V1, V2, V3. So V is equal to total potential should be V1 plus V2 plus V3 because total potential is provided by this battery. So this will not change, but total potential will be divided according to the resistance. So now V equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3. Now we want to apply Ohm's law to each resistor. So here for R1, how can we say R1? R1 for V1 equal to IR1. For this V2, V2 equal to IR2. For this V3, V3 equal to IR3. So we can say V1 equal to IR1, V2 equal to IR2, V3 equal to IR3. So when we join all these three, but here V equal to IR, if you replace all these and we put one single resistance so that current will remain same and voltage of course remains same, then this is known as equivalent resistance. So for that case, we can apply for single resistance V equal to IR. So here V is equal to IR. But here V is what? V1 plus V2 plus V3. So we can say IR1, IR2, IR3, but and V equal to IR. So in place of V equal to V1, V2, V3, VIR, V1, IR1, IR2, IR3, I can be omitted, cancelled from each term, or say R equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3. This is the resistance, and we can understand here if you want to replace the resistance, so single resistance, the value of single resistance will be more than the greatest resistance. If 2 ohm, 3 ohm, 4 ohm, so we need 2 plus 3 plus 4, 9 ohm resistance. So here the greatest resistance is 4 ohm, so we need 9 ohm resistance in place of these three. Okay. Now, parallel connection. In case of parallel connection, here we can say here voltage is same because all the one endpoints, all the resistance are connected at one point A, and A potential difference A because of this, and potential at B is because of this. So the potential remains same. But here, when current flows in this circuit, here the current has three paths to proceed to go ahead. So I1 current will go here, I2 will go here, I3 will go here. But when I1, I2, I3 join together, then again become I. And if now here, this is the 20 ampere, for example, suppose this is the 20 ampere, this is the 10 volt, 50 volt, whatever you want to say. But if you want to remove this resistance by one resistor, so 20 ampere and 50 volt, that current and volt should be same. That they should not be changed. That is not an equivalent resistance. So we want to calculate what should be the capacity of equivalent resistance so that the current should not be affected. So that in case of parallel connection. So in case of parallel connection, I will be divided according to the resistance. I equal to I1 plus I2, I3, and voltage remains same. So we can say I1 equal to, for this resistance we can apply here, V equal to I1 R1, V equal to IR R1, V equal to I2 R2, and V equal to I3 R3. This is, so from here we can go ahead. So V equal to I1 R1. So when here we can look in this way, I have told you V, so V equal to I1 R1. If I say, and if you want to move this one, R1 this side, so V upon R1 equal to I1. So I1 equal to V upon R1. This is written according to this. So here, so we can say I1 equal to V upon R1, I2 equal to V upon R2, I3 equal to V upon R3. Of course, this is the V upon R3, but I1 plus I2 plus I3 equal to I. So we have written I equal to V upon R1, V upon R2, V upon R3. But I equal to what? I equal to V upon R, because V equal to IR. So I equal to V upon R. So here we can write V upon R equal to V upon R1, V upon R2, V upon R3. Here numerator V. So we can divide all the terms by V. So we get 1 upon R equal to 1 upon R1, 1 upon R2, 1 upon R3. So here, if you want to replace all these three resistance by single resistance, then the value should be calculated as 1 upon R equal to 1 upon R1, open 1 upon R2, open 1 upon R3. So simply if we want to find here 2, 3, 4, as we have discussed, so 2 plus 3 plus 4. So 2, 3, 4. LCM will be 4, 12. So how can we get this value? So that value here, let us calculate here. if you want to 1 upon R, so 1 upon R here, 1 upon R should be, if we put the value of, so 1 upon 2 plus 1 upon 3 and again plus 1 upon 4. So if we want to calculate this, how can you calculate? Simply here the LCM of 2, 3, 4. LCM will be 2, 3, 4. That will be 12. So here 2, 6 are 12. So we can write here 6 plus 3, 4 are 12. So we write here 4 plus 4, 3 are 12. So we have to write 3. And upon what? Upon will be 12. Okay, so 6 plus 4, 10, 10 plus 3, 13 upon 12. What we get? 13 upon 12. So we are interested to find the value of R. So what is R? R will be reciprocal. It means that is 12 upon 13. And this is less than 1. 12 upon 13 is less than 1. So we can say if you want to replace all the resistors which are connected in parallel, so we need very a small resistance in place of all these 3 resistance. 12 upon 3. The smallest resistance is here what? This is the 1 ohm. So this is less than 1 ohm. Okay. Now let us go ahead. Next topic is magnitude of equivalent resistance is always smaller than the smallest resistance in case of parallel connection. Heating effect of electric. As we have seen, when the bulb glows, when the current passes through a conductor, when we want to charge your mobile, then the cord, the wire, the equipments become hot. This is heating effect of electric current. When current flows through a conductor, heat, this is heat. When current flows through a conductor, heat energy is generated. This is called heating effect of electric current. Why? What is the reason behind it? Electric current generates heat to overcome the resistance offered by conductor through which it passes. So as we have discussed, resistance, about the definition of resistance, cause of resistance. When current passes through a conductor, then conductor opposes the flow of charge. So to overcome that, the heat is generated. So when we rub your palm, so heat is generated, of course. Okay, so this phenomenon is known as heating effect of electric current. Now, Joule's law of heating. Joule gave an important law. Joule gave an important law about the heating effect of electric. Okay, how much heat energy is released if current passes through a conductor for a particular time? How much heat energy is released? That statement is given by Joule. So sublet here, an electric current I is flowing through a resistor having resistance equal to R. The potential difference is V. The charge Q flows the circuit for time T. Thus, work done in moving Q of potential difference V is equal to W. Okay, try to understand this. What is the meaning of this? As we have discussed, the potential. What is the percent for potential? Work done to bring unit positive charge. So V equal to work done to bring unit positive charge from infinity, work done to bring unit charge. So per work done per coulomb charge. So simply from this we can get what is W equal to QV. So simply we can say W equal to QV. Okay, or VQ. This is so work done to bring Q charge. This is the Q charge. Work done to bring Q charge at a point in an electric field. That is equal to VQ, where potential difference is V. Potential is V. Simple or potential difference? Okay, potential difference and potential is same thing here. Because when we say potential difference, it is compared to the infinity. So at infinity, the potential is 0. So now come to the, we don't have to go in detail. Here, work done to bring unit positive charge. Okay, that is, sorry, work done to bring Q charge. That is W equal to QV here. So, and now we know what is the meaning of power? P, rate of doing work. So when we divide W by T, so we get power. So P equal to W by T. And for W, we can write VQ upon T. But we know Q upon T is I. So we can write P equal to VI. So thus, heat energy due to the current Okay, simply we can say heat energy due to the current. Heat energy created here, P equal to VI. So if we multiply W into T, W by T into T, so we get energy. Work is energy. So heat energy, here we can say heat energy due to the current is electric power, P into time. So P into time. This is the P into time, electric power. When P is multiplied, here we can see when we multiply P by T, P into T, so W by T into T, T will cancel. Okay, so in this way we can get this one similar. Okay, simply we get this one. So heat energy due to the current is electric power into time. So here H equal to P into T, and P is what? P is VI. We have calculated just. So H equal to VIT. So H equal to VIT. This is the heat energy produced. Now we do some calculation more to get the Joule's law. Here, we know V is equal to IR. So in place of V, we can put IR. So IR into IT, IR into IT, I square RT. So H equal to I square RT. And this is known as Joule's law. This is known as Joule's law. This is Joule's law. How can we state Joule's law? So heat energy produced, or you can say heat energy produced in a conductor resistor is directly proportional to the square of electric current, comma, directly proportional to the resistance, and directly proportional time for which current is flowing through the conductor or resistor. So this is known as Joule's law of heating. Okay, this states that heat produced in a resistor is directly proportional to the square of electric current given to the resistor, directly proportional to the resistance for a given current, and directly proportional to the time for which the current is flowing through the resistor. Or simply we can say Joule's law states that the heat energy produced is directly proportional to the square of electric current, comma, directly proportional to resistance, and directly proportional for time for which electric current passes through the conductor, through the resistor. So this is, now go ahead. Now we want to calculate power. So simply, what is the power? So this is the energy. So when H by T is power. H by T means W by T. Simply we can say, so electric energy means electrical energy consumed per unit time. The electrical energy, this is the electrical energy. So electrical energy consumed in unit time is defined as electric power. So P is equal to electric energy consumed in unit time. Electric energy was W by T. So I square RT by T. T and T will cancel. So this is I square R. This is one of the formula for power. Simply we can say P equal to I square R. Here, I square R can be written as I into IR. This can be written as I into IR. So simply we can write this is I into IR. But what is IR? IR is nothing. IR, what is IR? IR is V. So we can write VI, or IV we can write. So P equal to IR can be written as IV. So this is IV. This is the other formula. We can also write another formula for that. If I put I equal to V upon R, I equal to V upon R. So simply we can say V square upon R square. V square upon R square into, this is I equal to V upon R. So V square upon R square into R, and this R will be cancelled. Here in the denominator is R square, and this is in numerator. Try to understand. Okay. So what is V square upon R? So we get another formula, V square upon R. So we get three formula for that. Okay. Simply here, let's say P equal to V square by R. So here, from here, V square by R, because 1R here we can say here this R square because R into R, and this R because this is in the, here we will try to understand. This is like this. This is V square. This is V square upon, this is R square. Okay, let me do the incorrect way. This is, sorry, This is R squared. I think you have understood. Okay. Here again, I want to, I try to write this. So this is a I is I. So what is I? I equal to V upon R. So simply we can say this is V squared upon R squared, because I equal to V upon R, V squared R squared into, this is R, sorry, this is into R. Okay. So in this way, this R and this R will cancel. So V square upon R. So this can be also written as V square. This can be written as IV. This can be written as V square by R. So we have three formula here at this moment. P equal to I square R, P equal to IV, and P equal to V square by R. SI unit of electric power is of course joule per second, because work upon time, W upon time, energy upon time, so joule per second, or this is known as watt. 1 watt equal to 1 volt into 1 ampere. How can you say 1 volt into 1 ampere? So we can say 1 volt into 1 ampere, that is 1 watt. If electric current is 1 volt, sorry, if electric current is 1 ampere, potential difference is 1 volt, then power is 1 volt ampere. Simply we can say 1 volt ampere. And this is known as, this is also watt. This is, it is again converted into joule. So 1 watt here, sorry. This 1 watt equal to 1 volt into 1 ampere. How? Because here watt is what? This is the joule per second. So it should be in joule per second. Try to get that. This is of course joule per second. Because what is volt? Volt is, simply if you want to write, what is volt? Volt is energy per coulomb, work done per coulomb. So we can say joule. So joule per coulomb. And what is ampere? Ampere is what? Nothing. Ampere is coulomb per second. Coulomb, joule, okay, coulomb per second. Charge passing through a cross area in 1 second. So here C and C will be cancelled. So what we get? Joule per second. And joule per second is what? Joule per second is nothing. Joule per second is watt. So this is also watt. Done? Okay. Here, 1 kilowatt equal to 1000 watt, simply because when we add kilo, kilo means 1000. Consumption of electricity is generally measured in kilowatt hour. So unit of electric energy is kilowatt hour. What is the meaning of kilowatt hour? Just try to find that. Kilowatt hour. 1 kilowatt means 1000 watt, kilowatt hour. Hour should be converted into 1000, 3600 second. So 36 into 10 to the power 5. But in a standard form, we write 3.6 into 10 into 10 to the power 5. So 3.6 into 10 to the power 6. So 3.6 10 to the power 6 joule, that is electric power. So in this way, this is the electric power. Now we are going to end the session. Before that, end this topic. So before that, we want to discuss the series connection and parallel connection again, because this is again and again asked in the exam. Again, I want to highlight few important points related to these two. 2 or more resistors are connected end to end in case of series. In case of parallel, 2 or more resistors are connected between the same endpoints. Only one path is available for the current. You have more than one path is available for the current. Equal amount of current flows through each resistors, but the voltage gets divided among the resistors. Your voltage is divided here. Voltage drop across two ends of each resistor remains same, but the current that flows in the circuit gets divided. I1, I2, I3, as we have discussed. So here equivalent resistance is equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3. If the equivalent resistance is R, then it is 1 upon R equal to 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2 plus 1 upon R3. Okay, the equivalent resistance is greater than the largest. Here the equivalent resistance is smaller than the smallest in parallel. This connection is used to increase the overall resistance. So in case of series connection, resistance is increased. In this combination, the resistance of the circuit is decreased. In this connection, the total current is decreased in the circuit, or in this connection, total current is increased in the circuit. Because resistance decreases, current increases. Okay. So we have done all the topics which are related to this. Thank you.